All right, we are 6 o'clock according to YouTube time. So those joining here at Westside High School, hopefully make it a little worth it. You guys get a gift before you leave when you register. So I know time is money, so you get a gift being in person. Those of you who are on YouTube Live, welcome for joining us live. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people watching it because they're not available exactly right now. But if you are watching as we go through, there will be instructions for registration. Those of you who are here, it'll be super easy for you to do the registration in person. So with no further ado, welcome to the 2024-2025 PSOA preseason basketball team meeting. If you haven't realized sort of what we're trying to produce here, is the commitment, is the professionalism, is the organization of the parents have registered teams or registered their kids to teams. Kids are going to be trying out for teams at certain levels, and we want to treat this like that same team mentality because that's what people should be used to as parents, as former coaches, and everybody played a sport with a team in their life. Okay, so that's that mentality we're trying to bring to sports officiating. So with that being said, John Wooden, success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. All right, so yes, we want to go into every single basketball game, get every single call right, get every single rule right, get every single mechanic right. It's not realistic. But if we try to do our best to become the best we possibly can, we win. All right, and hopefully throughout this meeting, you can see how we as a family are going to help you accomplish that goal. So our agenda, we're going to talk about our PSOA standards. We'll show NSAA registration, and then we're going to take a 10-minute break. The purpose of that 10-minute break is so people could ask, all right, what is the NSAA website? I can't get to it. I'm getting this error. What's going on? All right, so if you are registering NSAA, you're running into troubles, we have people here that could help you. And then we could get the PSOA registration done, and we could start organizing our coaches stuff for after the meeting. We'll go over team contracts and payments. We're going to introduce our coaches. We're going to show who is signed up to be a captain, and then opportunities to be a captain if that's something you are looking for. And then we will briefly, and I say briefly, touch on the new rules, mechanics, and points of emphasis. I got the new rules. I got the rationale. I got the new points of emphasis this year. But has anyone received in hard copy rules book, case book? Yeah. So if you have all access, you went into that, downloaded it, you have access to more information. But we definitely want to cover the new rules with rationale. That way, if there are questions now, we could answer them. But as we go through practices preseason, we'll get more information and more guidance, especially when it comes to flopping. All right, so our standards, PSOA team uniforms. All right, black and white shirt, no collar. All right, so football officials, we just said if you're adding a sport to your sports officiating portfolio, don't wear a football official shirt. Totally different shirt for basketball. All right, all black pants. All right, so I know there's a fad going out there that officials are not wearing the basketball pants, what we know as basketball pants. They're going to Dick's, they're going to Shields, and wearing jogging pants, which is good, it's cool. Just make sure they're all black. All right, so you don't want the white piping. Another thing, football officials don't wear football officials' pants on the basketball game. Majority black shoes, black socks, Fox 40 whistle, and lanyard. Who's brand new, never officiated basketball before? All right, so make sure when you come down and get your gift, it's a whistle and lanyard. All right, a whistle and lanyard. PSOA optional uniform items, black warm-up jacket. All right, so that's for varsity games. Varsity games, they have a black jacket. A needle. I can't explain the importance when you show up to a basketball game if a ball is quote-unquote hot. All right, if you play with a hot basketball, you are going to have a lot of violations. You're going to have a lot of long rebounds, which now you have a lot of collisions. All right, so you have a needle there to take air out of the basketball. All right, so unlike the NFL, we want to take air out of the ball. We don't want to add air to it. All right, so that's the purpose of the needle. Black undershirt and then extra whistle. All right, so if you do wear an undershirt underneath your jersey, you don't want it to be purple. You don't want it to be orange. Those of you who are returning to Premier Sports, that is going to be one of your gifts. You get to choose from black shorts or a black shirt. All right, I'm going to give the veteran the first shot at it during the break. So if you definitely want black shorts, if you're a veteran, just make sure you come down and get that gift at that time. What we use for uniforms is purchaseofficials.com. You do not have to use this website. We just have found the partnership with them. It is the best website that has the best stuff for the best price. Can you get stuff at other websites for more money with better quality? Yeah, you can. Can you get it cheaper? Yeah, you can. But we have found Purchase Officials. It's like right there in the middle of the quality for the price. And then the quote I have here, dress for the position you want, not the one you have. All right, so I might be working youth basketball that day, but I'm going to dress like a varsity official. All right, you don't want to dress down just because you're working down. Dress for the position that you think you could officiate at. You'd be surprised on how much different you're treated just by the way you hold yourself and how you dress to the basketball site and on the court. Our team practices. All right, so we have a bunch of pictures up here. Teams are organizing. My daughter has a practice tonight, 8 o'clock to 9:30. She's been practicing for over 2 months. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, so as teams are practicing, high school gyms are going to be filling up here as football ends. We have to start our practices as well. So some people ask during the football season, so are we going to do drills and stuff? Are we going outside and running? We're not doing that type of practice. All right, we're not going to be dribbling. We're not going to be passing. All right, but our practices are foul rules, foul judgments, foul mechanics, foul signals, foul reporting. All right, so those are our skills as officials. All right, so at that meeting, we are going to have the rule. We're going to have actual clips. You make the call. And the concept is we show the clip, you make the call. We then teach the rule. Then we show the clip again, you make the call again. And let's see if we go from 50-50 to 90-10 for that true learning. So that's the process for those two practices. You do the drill. We show and teach the drill. You do the drill again. And hopefully everybody leaves with the same idea and terminology. And then the last one is communication of the call. So there's a lot of steps of communication. In basketball especially, I tell officials, you are communicating for the deaf and the blind. If you only communicate for the deaf, people who are blind are going to get confused and frustrated because not everybody's looking at you. If you only communicate for the blind, the people who are deaf are going to be frustrated, right? Again, because they're not always looking at you. So you want to get all sensories that you possibly can. And that's what we're going to go over in our practices. And it's October 22nd, October 30th in this room, and then live on YouTube. All right, so we will be live on YouTube as well. Team scrimmages. So now we don't have any fans in the stands. We still have teams in uniform, but now we add officials. All right, so now we have our practices turned into scrimmages to apply the information learned to see if we picked it up. So October 20th and 27th, which are Sundays, there's 4 games, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I want to say it's Montclair, Camelot, but it's the top level B League in Omaha, Nebraska. So we're going to do varsity 3-person scrimmage there. All right, so last year we called it tryouts. This year we're calling it scrimmage. All right, so if you're trying to get the rust off, great place to come get the rust off. All right, if you are looking to get on a varsity staff, whether it's my staff, whether it's with Dick Morrissey, whether it's with Larry Wells, whether it's with Joe Wells, all right, this is a place you could come and try to get on staff. We're pretty well connected. And then for officials who are brand new, like never officiated before, or officials who are looking to move up from youth to high school, All right, we're going to use those first 2 weekends at Millard North. It's the Junior Lady Mustangs Tournament, Junior Boys Mustangs Tournament. All right, so typically, if you've already been a youth official, you're looking up to move high school, we're going to put you on the court with a captain. All right, they are going to do their captain material to get you prepared. If you are brand new, the system that we have found that works the best, you watch a half, you shadow a half, you are shadowed a half by a veteran official, and then the last half, so you're there for 2 hours, the last half, that varsity official or trained official records you and gives you feedback on that recording. All right, it is amazing on what we think we look like, and then you see yourself on film. Whoa, I did not think I looked that way. All right, so that's the idea, and then we move up from there. So it is a 2-hour commitment from there, and then after that, if the shift is 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock training, and then there's a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock opening, you stay on that court, then you get paid. So that's the process. And then we have a tournament down in Lincoln, November 15th through 17th. So 2-person and 3-person. And we're going to try to put as many of our captains on those courts as possible. Again, it's that instant feedback right away. 2-person on the sub-varsity and 3-person on the varsity games, November 15th through 17th. These will all be posted on Arbiter Sports. If you're not on Arbiter Sports yet, after registration today, you will be added. You just accept the scrimmages you can attend and you want to attend, and then we put the schedule out. All right, team schedule. All right, so varsity. I do not make every single official on varsity assignments with PSOA register with PSOA. I get the best available officials in the state of Nebraska on our games. End of story. All right, so it's sort of, I heard this from a college assigner. I want to keep my job too. I want to keep my contracts too. All right, so the best available officials will be on the best games that we have available when it comes to varsity basketball. Okay. Sub-varsity. Oh, with that being said, right now I think I only have like 80 assignments out for varsity basketball. I know college hasn't even started. I know people have loyalty to other assigners, so I try to allow the other assigners to fill their schedule, and then people could come to me with openings. And then I find varsity officials like, dang, they could work, all right, at our tryouts, at our scrimmages. All right, so I always try to leave opportunity there. Sub-varsity, registration with NSAA, and yes, I try to take care of those who do join PSOA on our sub-varsity games. So I do use PSOA registered officials. And my goal is to mix varsity with non-varsity. And that's sort of when we get into the self-assign. So our varsity officials will have a certain rank so they could assign themselves to JV games as referee. And then the idea is once the referees are assigned, now we're going to start putting officials who are registered with NSAA and potentially are looking up to do varsity to get feedback and support. Middle school, any PSOA member and has a full uniform. So we are full pants for middle school. So if you go to Omaha Public Schools, Ralston, Miller Public Schools, that'll be full uniform. So when you sign up for registration, if you only sign up for youth, you will not show up for middle school. You can't see middle school self-assign. So if you're looking for middle school, make sure you have full uniform and make sure you join. Youth basketball, PSOA members are going to have self-assign. All right, so anybody who wants to work youth basketball, you join PSOA, you will have self-assign, so you will have access to games before we start making tons of phone calls and text messages and all that fun stuff around the state. You have choice of partners, you have choice of site, you have choice of amount of games. Because it's actually a lot of different ways. But the first way is, boom, we put out the youth tournament, we send out an email. If you have self-assigned, this tournament, it is open, go for it. We typically give the self-assigners 24 hours. Then you go to your coaches. All right, you could go to your coaches right away. Hey, myself and Mike Walker, we want these 4 games at this site if it's still open. Coach would be like, all right, it's open. Otherwise, nope, that site's not open, but this site is open. All right, so you could go through your coaches. And then typically Wednesday, Thursday of that week, I send out an email to everybody saying, hey, these are our final openings. All right, so the idea is you join, you get the benefit of you get control of your schedule as much as you possibly can. Okay? Our communication standards. Arbiter Sports, which I'm going to get into here. Actually, I'll just do it right now. 24 to 48 hours to accept an assignment. I find it unique that when coaches send out assignments and then we go back the next day, how many assignments aren't even looked at? Like everyone gets a text message, everybody gets an email, you have a new assignment, correct? Those of you who've been in Arbiter. Okay, if you do not get an email or text message when you get a new game, as in coaches are contacting you, hey, does that game work next week? Well, I didn't even know I had a game. All right, what's probably going on is your profile. All right, so you go over your picture and your profile, sign in and security may be off. Account information, say this is different now, cancel. Settings. I guess it helps if I'm connected to the internet. That's why it's off. All right, we're going to wait till that comes up. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint for right now. All right, so we're going to come back to Arbiter, but 24 to 48 hours to accept assignments, update blocks and availability. Next one, confirmation with schools and partners. All right, so when you're working varsity games, sub-varsity games, middle school games, you want to confirm with the schools. All right. Typically, varsity, there's not a lot of changes. So that's why we could do all of our confirmation 3 to 5 days. Sub-varsity, there's probably a ton of changes with sub-varsity. So that's why we're like, hey, don't do it on a Monday for a Friday sub-varsity game. Because if you're a varsity official and you're helping me out on a Friday doing a sub-varsity game, there's probably a good chance you're picking up a varsity game somewhere. All right, so wait till the day before. Youth, day of, communicate with your partner. All right, it's just relaxing to my partner that, all right, I know they know we're at South Court, Bellevue East High School. Sweet. All right, just communicate as much as you can. On-site professionalism, show up early. I've been in situations, where's Cliff? Me and Cliff, we're in a situation where we showed up, boom, 15 minutes before kickoff because Zach Verizon phone didn't work that day. No, actually, I was running behind. It was me. But you want to show up early as much as you possibly can. Don't get that reputation as an official. Oh, don't worry about it. They'll be here 1 minute before tip. Everybody's anxiety goes up. And if you are going to show up 1 minute before tip, communicate. Hey, I'm running behind. I got stuck in an accident. Got a speeding ticket. Whatever the case may be. Communicate with your partner. Use proper terminology, NFHS rulebook. That is going to be a huge point of emphasis for us. Those of you who've been to the summit, went to the summit, and heard that talk, we have to use the similar terminology. Coaches want consistency. That's all they ask for every single year. We want consistency. We want consistency. We want consistency. The consistency is not the same play called a block by every single official. It's impossible. But consistency is block, illegal guarding position. Block, head and shoulders past the defender. Block, defender moving forward. Okay, we're using similar words. Because now guess what the coach could do with similar words with players? They could teach them. So if number 25 blocks and 10 different officials in 10 different games say, white, 25, block, moving forward into the shooter. There's a pretty good trend there, isn't there? It's 25 jumping forward into the shooter. There's drills for that now for number 25 in practice. All right, that's the consistent message with the terminology. Ability to listen. It is amazing how many times I have phone calls, I have text messages, I have emails, giving advice, giving feedback. Hey, this is what was told to me from one of your partners. This is what was told to me from a fan in the stands who is a sports official. And automatically we get defensive. We get defensive. That's not what happened. That's not what I said. Well, yeah, it is. You just told me that's what happened. So when you were playing and a coach went out of their way to give you advice of how to do a play differently, did you get defensive with the coach, or did you say, yeah, coach, yes, coach, thank you, coach? And was the coach always right, by the way? No, coach isn't always right. But you were able to actually listen, take the feedback, process the feedback, now react to it. All right? Not every single tip I have been given in every single camp and clinic I went to do I agree with and I use. The ones that work, I keep using. The ones that didn't work and I tried, I don't use them again. All right, so that's what we're talking about, ability to listen. All right, don't be defensive. Take the feedback, process the feedback, react to the feedback. And yes, sometimes reacting to the feedback is a technical foul for the coach. All right, as we get into training there. But at least listen first. All right, try to understand what's going on. And the last one is ask questions. All right, so now this is contact PSOA coaches. We are not asking you to call the coach or email the coach you just officiated for. Don't do that. All right, but use our coaches that are going to be introduced today, our captains, aka our mentors, fellow partners. If you have a call and you don't know if you got it right, coach is going nuts. Coach, you have your opinion. This is what I have. Move on. Ask your partner. They might be able to give you information. All right. Again, your partner might agree with you, might disagree with you. Whatever you get, be able to listen to that feedback. Now the internet's up here. Good. All right. There it is. All right. So if you don't have text message or emails coming, when I log in, I click on settings, preferences. All right. So I have something coming to my email and my phone via text for game reminders, new games, new event, game change, unassigned, event reminder. All right, so my phone goes off a lot. All right, sometimes people only want emails. Some people only want text messages. You choose that. All right, but if you start getting in our group and we start assigning games and coaches are contacting you, are you going to accept those games? Because it's 72 hours now. And you're not getting these messages, ask your coach. Like, tell your coach, hey, I'm not getting these messages. What could I do in my account so I do? Right? There are times where Verizon goes out for a day. There are times where Arbiter's doing updates, so it's not working properly. There's sometimes your phone has to be updated. All right, so it does happen. It just shouldn't happen for a month at a time. Okay. Blocks. I can't, until you are a coach and assign, Mike Walker sort of has experience with this. We love assigning. We love it. That's why we do it. It takes a very special person to have the patience, organization to do it. It's not for everybody. But what coaches, it drives us nuts, reassigning. Okay, organizations, teams do pay coaches, pay PSOA to assign. We do not pay to reassign. Okay, so understand the time commitment that goes into assigning first, which is what we get paid for. It is hard to reassign. It is hard. So here's some suggestions. Number one, start making relationships. So if you can't work because you're hurt, you can't work, you have childcare, you can't work, you got a varsity assignment, start communicating with fellow officials. Hey, I got this game tomorrow, 4:30 at Miller North Middle School. Are you available? Can you help me out? Sweet. Thank you. Hey, Sean. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Matt. So-and-so is going to work for me tomorrow. Awesome. Thank you. And if you can't find somebody, yes, we will. Obviously, we have to stop doing what we're doing in our daily life. to get that contract filled. But understand, we love assigning. It's very difficult to reassign. So today alone, I had 2 reassignments. It took me 5 hours to find 2 officials, day of. 5 hours. Constantly going back to text messages, emails, phone calls. All right? AKA, that's why I sent out part of that email today. All right? So help those coaches out. And how you do it, block all day, go to the 9th, now it's red, you cannot be assigned a game that day. All right? Now, if desperate times call for desperate measures, your coaches might text you, all right, but we can't assign without an error coming up. All right? You could also clear that block, clear blocks. Now, October 9th is wide open. It is amazing. It's probably happened to people in here. You all of a sudden clear a block, I text you 5 seconds later. It's like, dang, that was fast. All right? You're working for another group. That game gets canceled. Boom, I send you a game like 5 seconds later. Damn, that's fast. All right, but literally that's how much really coaches are in there. All right, we refresh the page to see a new name. If you have a job, that's cool. I can't work from 8 o'clock a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. If I click apply, which I'm not going to, it blocks all Mondays through Fridays from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5:30 at night. Okay, so that's what usually comes up with this peach now. All right, this peach is there's a certain time frame blocked, so us coaches can't see you available in the morning. If you get an assignment on a Saturday of 5 games in the morning, that's all you want, 5 games. Block the rest of the day. Because if you keep it open, guess what assigners are probably going to do on that Thursday, Friday? They're probably going to start sending you more games. So it's okay. You only want 5 games? Awesome. You only want 2 games? Awesome. Then just block the rest of the day. Okay? So that is, and I don't think I have any pending assignments. But I will say, warning. Oh, yeah, there's that. So warning. So this accept. Once you look at your schedule, we know you looked at it. So there's, oh, I didn't even know I had new games. Yeah, Matt's laughing. We know if you looked at it. All right. A lot of times new officials are like, if you were in view by day, you cannot accept games in this view. If you view by week, you cannot accept games in that view. You could see them, but you can't accept them. You cannot accept game view by month. You could see them, but you can't accept them. You could only accept in list view. It's the only view you could accept games. Okay, then you click green button, submit. Now you have accepted that date. Yes. Ooh. Yeah, so if you decline a game, you want I could probably do this really quick. Assigner, schedule, and blue stem. Could you call SJ, Matt? All right, I'm not open that day. I think I show open this day. We're going to find out. Yes, sweet. Published. And now I'm going to go in as an official. Schedule. So now I'm going to decline. All right, this is a bad thing for me to do. All right, so now once I submit, a box comes up. Okay, I'm going to decline this. Please let us know, be honest, why you declined the game. Okay, PSOA basketball meeting. Sorry, I did not have my blocks updated. Okay, continue. So now once that's in, I'm going to go to my blocks, and now I am blocked during that time frame. And not only are you blocked during that time frame, you are blocked for all groups during that time frame. So now all of these groups that I have cannot assign me a game that day. That can see your schedule. Okay. Can that block be erased? Absolutely. It's got to be erased by the assigner. Whoever assigned you the game has to go in and take off that block. So that's why I tell officials, like it happened this Saturday. I'm available. I do not want to work this site. Sweet. I'm available, but I can only do the first 2 games, not all 3 games. Sweet. We get an email. We get that information. All right, don't just put ugh, question mark, question mark, question mark. No. All right, that is communication. We learn so much about your professionalism. And so now when open assigning comes, I have good communicators, I have bad communicators. I am giving opportunity to good communicators. End of story. Okay, so it's okay if you decline, just let us know. Mistakes happen, stuff happens. Helps us out tremendously. All right, display settings, duplicate side. All right, teams also study film. It's amazing. The best teams, when you have teams multiple times in a season and you see growth, the teams that have the most growth, it's because of film study. They watch themselves on film and they grow. I used this example last year. It is amazing the accuracy that goes up having a block charge this close to the lane and going 1 foot out. 1 foot. Okay? Call accuracy goes way up. And it's because of film studies, because of film statistics that show that. So if you have a lot of block charges missed, man, why am I missing these? Well, how close are you to the free throw line extended? If you're by free throw line extended, you're missing calls. That's why. You're too close. All right. So film study. So what I'm going to ask new officials is when you come down during the break and get your gift, I'll be like, all right, show me that you're subscribed to the channel. All right. That's I know then you're getting access to information. So like and subscribe to that Timeout with PSOA. We have weekly training tapes, which will start in November. Right now, weekly training tapes is football. All right. Weekly training tapes for basketball are going to start in November. Daily shorts for basketball as we start getting stuff turned in, especially flops. We're going to probably hit flops a lot with daily shorts early in the season. And then quiz questions. Really, quiz questions come from officials. I don't make them up. Like, hey, Sean, this is the play. Did I get it right? All right, so quiz questions will be posted there. NSAA registration. Again, this is required for high school, not required to work middle school or youth for our group, but it is required for high school and varsity. NSAAhome.org. All right, so when you go there, we're going to click on officials, officials login. If you don't have an account, you'll create an account, and you don't even get to this page until you are paid and registered. So it automatically sends you to the registration page. But that's as simple as NSAA can make it. So you literally officials, log in, sign in, and go. All right, so those of you who are brand new during this break, if you have not registered before and you're running into snags, we are here to help. The Part 1 test is open now. It's due November 22nd. We will have a PSOA practice to go over those 50 questions. Online rules meeting, October 28th through 20th. It's free. After November 20th, you have to pay. Yes?
The new official is only $10. Is that new officials for
New officials for that sport. Yeah, so any new sport you register, it is $10 for that sport that you are new to. Yep. Good question. What? Oh, great question. Returners. Anyone know off the top of your head? 21st? October 1st? Okay. Whew. I'm like, dang, I missed the deadline. No, I'm registered, but I tried to send out an email reminder. Usually Nate and John usually bog down our emails. Reminder, deadline. November 1st is what our veteran officials are saying. November 1st. All right. This is leads us into our break. So if you are on our YouTube Live, all right, in the chat box, Zach is going to actually put up the Google link you could click on during this 10-minute break. Those of you who are in your room, all you have to do is get out your phone and hover over with your camera this QR code, and it should pop up. Do I have to zoom in here or what? Is it working on people's phone? Okay. All right, so we are going to have a 10-minute break. After you complete the registration form, returning officials or the officials in the room come on down. Brand new officials, you're going to get a whistle. That's going to be the gift. Returning officials, you could get a pair of shorts or an undershirt just for registering. All right, that is a gift from our family to your family. And the 10 minutes will begin right now. Yep, and that's on there. So on the registration, has the payment options. Boom. Awesome. And then also during this 10-minute breaks, if you do have questions, you could come down here and ask the questions. Just leave. going again. All right, those of you who are on YouTube Live, if you guys could do me a favor, type your name in the chat box. So I'm trying to keep track of who is attending live via the Google Sheet. I have a timestamp. I just want to make sure the people who are live gets credit for being live throughout these events. So if you are live on YouTube channel, please put your name in the chat box at this moment. Do we lose the chat box on the replay? Oh, shoot. Yes. What's that? 50. The basketball's 50. And we're going to 5-0. I always take tip money. All right. So now you join the group. Now, as Mike Walker said, hey, what am I going to get in return? Hey, where's the tip? All right. All right. I really got to stop doing contracts before everybody else does contracts. I will say that, but that's all right. So our varsity contract single game is $100. All right, so those working other varsity games around the state of Nebraska, you get $100 per game. Get a doubleheader, you get $200. You're welcome, because that was our contract, $100 per game for a single game. Our contract for doubleheader is $160. All right, so it is not 100. It is $160 for doubleheader varsity games, which is $20 up from our contracts last year. So it is a $20 raise. But what's that? No, we do not have another crew coming in at halftime. I will say, I don't mind saying this on YouTube, working high-level basketball every single day is a wear and tear on your body, wear and tear on the brain, on the mind. I love mixing in small-town basketball. It's just a different feel, different environment. So we do have most small-town basketball contracts, but that is our rates. Sub-varsity is $70. If it's a JV varsity doubleheader, you get the $160. So you're not going to get $70, and then it's still $160 for the JV varsity. Anything associated with varsity will get varsity rates. Middle school, another raise, $45 per game, so 2 games, $90. And then youth basketball is the same as last year, $30 per game, so it's $30 per hour. Not a bad gig. As of right now, as far as I know, every youth basketball tournament that we assign is still paying cash on site. Okay, so the Miller North, the Miller South, the UTAN, the Bellevue, when we get into the youth stuff, they are paying cash on site. I am not paying anything youth-wise via Arbiter Pay. I believe the only contract via Arbiter Pay is Ashland Greenwood. So if you go out to Ashland Greenwood for middle school, JV, varsity, that will be through Arbiter Pay. Yes. Yep, we are. So this is the next slide. So for varsity, I really went off the top of my head. Blair, Ashland Greenwood, Columbus SCOTUS, Cross County, High Plains, Twin River, St. Paul, EC-NC tournament, which is the last 2 weeks of January, or last week of January, not 2 weeks, it's 1 week. Omaha Christian Academy, Winnebago. I work very closely with Dick Morrissey, Joe Wells, Larry Wells, to provide more opportunities to as many basketball officials as we can. Those of you who work with Dick Morrissey, there's always that Sunday, Monday call. Hey, what sub-varsities could you do this week? And then he calls me Tuesday, Wednesday. Hey, this is what I have left open, sub-varsity. We work well with each other. Sub-varsity is everything on that above list. And then additional, Conestoga, Arlington, Plattsmouth, UTAN, Meade, Fremont Bergen, Fremont High School. All right, it's additional contracts. A lot of the ADs, they contract out their varsity games. And then they know it's hard work to fill sub-varsity games at 4:30 in the afternoon. and 1 o'clock on a Saturday. So that's where we come into play. Middle school, Miller Public Schools, Omaha Public Schools, Ralston Middle School as of right now. We might get some Papillion. I don't know what some of those Papillion schools are doing. But if it is the middle school, majority of them are doubleheaders. So it's like a 3:30, 4:30. It's a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Some of them are 3 games, 4, 5, 6, DC West, Fremont. It all depends on the numbers of how many kids try out. So if you have 3 games, 45 times 3 will be the pay. All right, so 2 games will be $90. And then we talked about youth. I believe there's 21 youth weekends. Our first weekend is the first weekend in November 1st through 3rd. That's our first weekend. And then I think the 2 weekends off is around Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Those are the 2 weekends that I don't think we have any youth tournaments we're responsible for. CYO and Pell start December 5th, 6th area, and they go into March, the beginning of March. So that is where we are at. I tell officials, you could work every day if you want to work every day. Plan accordingly. If you only want to work 3 days a week, you could work 3 days a week. You get to pick your schedule with the blocks and communicating with coaches. Yes. No. CYO and Pell are still full dress. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Pell and CYO are full dress. They are asking for full dress there. If it was truly up to me, I would go full dress. But I'm not going to change completely everything. I do not do Bennington. Bo Hess does Bennington varsity. We do Bennington sub-varsity. So that's what I forgot up there. So Bennington sub-varsity we do. Omaha Nation, we have some contracts, not all the contracts, for varsity. So these are very important numbers to save in your phone. It's still amazing. Like, I have a lot of supervisors, and if a supervisor contacts me, I'm like, who is this? Ooh. You should know who your coaches are. So I would save these phone numbers, save these email addresses. I will say there are times you will text me, and I will say, please email PSOA PremierSportsOfficials.com. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to. I know it's important. I just can't take care of it right now. If you use PSOA PremierSportsOfficials.com, it actually goes to all of our coaches. So if a coach does say, hey, email PSOA PremierSportsOfficials.com, because there might be another coach who could take on that situation right now. It does go to Jeff Kopetsky and Tom Henricks. They're not basketball coaches, but if it's a true emergency, they have access to respond and help if needed. All right. So, yes, sir. I sure could. I'll just go PSOA PremierSportsOfficials.com. That's going to be the easiest. They get more emails that they never wanted to get. I didn't even realize you get as many emails as you guys get. Sorry. Not sorry. All right, so this is my team introduction. Let's see if the sound works. All right. All right. So that is sort of going to be on my team. I'm going to try to get to know the individual. What is your dream? It might not even be basketball related, but it's amazing on how much I get to know people and how much sports officiating affects them as a parent, affects them as a business person. All right, so there's a lot of stuff that could go back and forth. So people always say, how are you doing? Living the dream, pursuit of happiness. Everybody's happiness is different. And we're going to try to use basketball officiating to help out. And if your dream's to be a Division I basketball official, let me know that. All right? Because it's a very hard thing to do, but we have access to it. We have a lot of more access to it than most people even know. when it comes to Division One landscape here. All right, so now I'm going to introduce Gwen Porter, play her video, and then she could talk about a little bit about her team. Oh no. Why is this not working?
Got standstill freeze.
All right.
Kobe Bryant said, "Coach, I never get standstill free." I said, "You will get standstill freezes on always double team. You won't be double teamed because LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony, those guys will be out on the court. You're going to get open freeze." Now all of a sudden he did it. He didn't hit him. Then he said every night shooting 1,000 shots a night. It's not an exaggeration. You know, you guys say, "Well, holy heck, I'm working on all this stuff." Cool. Work on all that stuff. The free throw and the standstill free, you got to be able to do. You should love this place right here. You should love the gym. You should love the gym. Yeah, you should want to be in here a lot. What's the thing that gets you out of it? What's one of the things that gets you out of it? Tired. Tired. Okay? And when you're tired, what do you start thinking about? You. I'm tired. You get home and say, "Mom, I'm tired," and you expect some sympathy or, "Oh, baby,
Yeah.
look who tired. Look who tired." My mother, God bless her, you know, I never saw my mom sick. In other words, when I grew up, I woke up every day, my mom was there, I took it for granted. She's never tired, never sorry, she never showed it. You know, be as tough as your mothers.
And a scientific question would go to a scientist, and I presume you would expect a rational answer.
So Gwen, explain why you chose that video and with your team.
Hi everyone. I think I know a good number in here, but I think not a lot of new faces. So I'll introduce myself. My name's Gwen Porter. I've been with PSOA for 7, going on 8 years in basketball, and just started officiating football this year as well, which has been a lot of fun. But I continue to officiate because of the people that I get to work with and this great community that we have. It's kind of an unintended consequence of officiating that I'm really grateful for. But I also really enjoy the challenge of officiating and trying to learn more, to perfect my mechanics, improve my communication. And so that's something that I really want to work on with my team, is especially those people that are looking to break into sub-varsity or work varsity games, kind of take it to that next level, working with everybody to perfect the mechanics, to learn the rules, talk about philosophies. So that's really what I'm looking forward to with working with those that are on my team. There are two reasons why I chose this video. One, Coach K talks about, being tough like their mothers and bringing that toughness into the gym. And Sean kind of alluded to this. I think there's a lot of skills and a lot of qualities that we can bring from our day jobs or our role as a mother, father, brother, sister, that we can bring into officiating that make us better officials or better communicators. And then vice versa as well. There's been a lot of things about officiating that I've been able to take to my day job or in my role as a mother as well. So that kind of bi-directional relationship is something that I think is a big piece of officiating. And then the second part is he talks about kind of showing up when you're tired or when you're not really wanting to be there. And in officiating, we have to remember that there's always somebody that game, that day it's really important to them. That game's always important to somebody, even though it might not feel very important to us, or, I'm working a lower level game. It's always important to somebody. So it's important that we bring our best selves and make it a good environment for all involved. So looking forward to getting to work with everybody this year.
Be as tough as your mother. So I called Matt Cross today and said, hey, is there a video that you want to represent your team with? And he goes, no, I'm good. Well, so I found a video for himself. All right. Oh, I actually.
Everything I know about basketball, I learned from women. I have a sister. Her name's Diane. When I call Diane, we're going to play straight man-to-man pressure defense. No, sir. Look at your defensive posture. Come on. Punch your man. That's straight. Cut down. This hand blocks the passing lane. This hand protects crossover. All right? Arms up. Hit him again. You expect me to react to all the head shake and body gyration? It's activity without accomplishment. You have the ball in front of you, you ain't going anywhere without it. Try this. It's called a rocker set. You ready to get your stance? Okay? See, the difference between me and you is when I step, I got the ball protected. And it looks like I'm starting to dribble, so you gotta react. And when you do, cross over, dribble right by here. Try. It's simple, but it'll make that pretty little shot of yours work. Crowds. The size of the school. Their fancy uniforms. And remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals. We've gone over time and time again. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners. All season long, we play our game. Right now, you playing theirs. When we step on the floor, every second that clock is ticking, we are pedal to the metal. We run the ball, we pressure the ball, and most importantly, we control the tempo of the game. We make them play Richmond Oil ball. 2 minutes away from the national championship. Right now, it's not about talent, it's about heart. It's about who will go out there and play the hardest, who will go out there and play the smartest. Now, they've been here before, so they're not going to give it to us. We got to go out there and we got to take it. Right? Take it. I want to go out there and take it.
So,
Which wall should I run through?
all right, Matt, come introduce yourself and how you're going to run your team this year. That's supposed to pump you up.
Yeah, pump me up. My name is Matt Cross. I've been with PSOA 7 years. Started with baseball, and then I went to football, and I said, well, if I'm doing baseball and football, I might as well do basketball. And so that takes me through back to baseball again. My big thing is with my team and how I work my team through baseball. I don't care if you work. You want to be an official, I can get you there. I have keys to help communicate with Sean to get you there. I just ask for communication. I like a lot of communication. I have my phone with me all the time. For those of you who have known me, you call, text, whatever, I will get you an answer. I will figure it out for you. The reason that I officiate is because typically the officials are the only ones that are getting paid to watch sports. I love sports. I love baseball. I love football. I love basketball. I love watching them. So why not get paid to watch them? Yeah, we have to police them a little bit, but if you can communicate, it's an easy thing to do. So I built a ton of relationships joining PSOA. I continue to build more, and I'm excited for the upcoming season and to continue to grow as an official and as an assigner. So appreciate your time.
Thanks, Matt. So with all joking aside, with those videos, You know, if you really break those videos down, you could connect a lot of coaching from those videos with the players into what we do as sports officials. Okay, so if somebody says you can't come back to this gym again, nobody's going to tell you you can't come back to that gym. Actually, I take that out as a challenge. The next time I do come back into the gym, I'm going to do a better job, and they're going to respect me even more. All right, be tougher than your mothers. Be in the gym. New officials. All right, I don't expect Joe Payne to work 8 games in a day. All right, I don't want Joe Payne working 8 games in a day. But if you want to get good at officiating, you need to get in the gym and do it. You need to get in the gym and do it. It's just like playing games. The only way to get better at playing basketball, get in the gym, practice, go play games. If your body is young, take it to your advantage. And then obviously in those clips from the Coach Krause, it's one little jab step, boom, you score. One little mechanic, you move a little bit, boom, you're going to get more calls right. All right, there's so much in those videos we could take, and that's hopefully what coaches are going to foster throughout the season. What can we do as coaches from what we have learned previously? What can we give as captains from what we learned previously to help everybody have a better experience? Everybody have a better experience. All right, so captains. So part of that registration was a certification course. All right, so we have right now Wednesday, October 16th, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Is a 25-seat max. There's 3 openings. All right, so I actually took it down off of events. I'm actually going to open up October 16th again, so those 3 are there. We are going to have a November date. I am waiting for my college schedule. That's really what we're waiting for. So once I get my college schedule, I will post our second captain's meeting. Again, it will be limited to 25 available spots. And pretty much what we have done is we teach the teacher. So Jason Ford, I think, is the only one in here right now that took one from other sports. So Jason, you want to talk about your experience when we talked about the certification course. Number one, how it helped you get prepared for the season and how it helped you help others throughout the season.
Well, it gives you a framework.
Oh,
Sorry, Jay.
What it's going to do is give you a framework for teaching others and sharing with others information that you already have. Portions of it are to remind you of certain aspects of the game that even if you've been doing this for years and years, little things will fall out of your memory. I've done football longer than any of the other sports, and yesterday I was doing a sub-varsity game, and one of my partners said, you know, what we have to do with this foul is add it on to the end of the kick. And I said, well, that doesn't sound right. And luckily he goes, look at 10-4 exception. And sure enough, there it was. I had highlighted it and I'd put a star by it in my book. So the process of the classroom will help emphasize certain issues that you may have forgotten and then give you the framework for how to teach. Because I will tell you that as someone who's went to law school, the best lawyers don't make the best teachers. The best doctors don't make the best teachers in medical school. The best teachers make the best teachers. And teachers have to learn how to teach. And Sean, being an ex-teacher, knows that. And so that's what this program will help you with.
And I will say what I try to do is, we call it the foundation. It's teaching the foundation of basketball officiating that I feel every single basketball official should have access to be successful on the court. All right, so you take a look at videos out there, officials getting punched, players getting frustrated, coaches yelling at officials. Right. I'm not going to condone that behavior whatsoever, because everyone is an adult. We have to learn how to cope and deal with our emotions. But I've been through enough situations, I will just use myself as an example. When a coach acted unsporting, when a player acted unsporting, where fans acted unsporting, there was something in my control. I screwed up. I screwed up as an official. All right, got a signal wrong, got a misapplication of a rule, didn't sprint down the basketball court. Okay, there's a lot of stuff we go over, and it's to give that foundation so people respect us, people trust us, and they say thank you for working the game after you leave that court. Okay, so that's really why we made these certification courses. I understand not all 473 officials can come to this course, get that foundation. But man, if we have 50 captains out there working, those 50 captains work with 10 different partners in the year, we just reached the 500. We just reached our 500. And everyone has a foundation. All right, so if you did the registration, like, no, I want to do this course, or now that you know the information, you don't even have to pay the $50 today. You could pay the day of the course. All right, but that is the idea behind it. All right, transitioning to our new rules. All right, again, there's a technology, scorekeeper, injured player, blood on player, mascot on the uniform, basket interference, delay warning, faking being fouled is probably going to be the biggest one we cover in our practice. Out of bounds and pregame technical fouls. All right, I think everyone, boom. So this is the document that was sent out if you were already registered with NFHS. What I really want to focus on is the rational decisions, why they made these changes. And if you truly have questions, let's ask them. So it clarifies the type of electronic devices that are allowed during the game, prohibiting the use of voice and video recording devices worn during the contest. All right, so like Apple Watches. All right, players cannot wear devices, technology, that the coach can communicate with them. Right? So it's a rule keeping up with the advancement of technology. All right? They can't record and track stats, reviewing, diagramming plays, they want it to be as pure and natural as possible. Requires the non-official scores to compare records with official score when multiple scores are present. How many people have been in a situation the score was wrong, foul counts were wrong, player foul counts were wrong? All right, now we have a rule. It's not, hey, we always go with the home rule book. They can now talk to each other. They could compare records. Nope, I had a foul on number 11 at 3:13 in the second quarter, not number 13 in the second quarter. They can now talk to each other and use information. Yeah, you want them at the scores table, if not right next to the scores table if there's not enough room. Okay. When it comes to injured player, requires a player who has been injured to be removed from the game if the coach is beckoned by the official, whether the coach enters the playing area or not, or if the bench personnel enters the court without being beckoned. The coach may still use a timeout to continue assessment of the injury and keep the injured player in the game. All right, so I'll use my example down in the state tournament. End of the half, the best player, offense's ball, and it's their big post player. And they go down hard. They definitely in pain. But I told the coach, don't come on to the basketball court yet. Don't come on. Because I know once we beckon them on, they're out. All right. So now, with this rationale, creates consistency for officials that an injured player is subject to removal from the game when an injury occurs and the coach team personnel are beckoned, or if they enter the court. Because if they enter the court without us beckoning on, what actually is the rule? Technical foul. All right, so now the coach has the authority, without us beckoning them on, go to that injured player. All right, so now they don't have to wait for us. Now the injured player has to leave unless the timeout is granted. Okay, so it gives the coaches more leeway and sort of, they're not waiting for us to make the assessment.
As I read that, the coach has to call a timeout, have the choice to keep the player in the game.
Correct.
Timeout, he's beckon, and they comes out of the game.
Correct. If we beckon on the coach, they have to leave. Like through our common sense, this player needs attention. But there are times where we don't because it's that moment of the game. Now it's on the coach. The coach can come out on their own.
Same with the coach.
Yep.
That one,
And
that way, but now it doesn't matter. You make that move. You have to.
correct. And I tell athletic trainers that all the time. They could come out now. They don't have to be beckoned. They could go. But if they come, that player's got to sit out or a timeout has to be charged. All right. Yes.
One thing on the test, it does ask if the opposing coach calls the timeout. Does the player get to stay in the game?
It does not. It's got to be that team charged timeout. And it can be used at the same, like if the opposing team calls a timeout, the injured player coach, they call timeout, they could serve it at the same time. So 30 seconds, 60 seconds. We're not going 20 seconds here in Nebraska, right? We're not adopting that? Or the closely guarded?
No, we're not.
Okay, so I'm not worried about, actually we're not the closely guarded yet. We're blood. Allow 20 seconds for a player to address any minor blood on the body or uniform without leaving the game. All right, this provides a short interval of time to handle a blood-related issue without delaying the game while still addressing the health-related concerns associated with blood on a player. I'm guilty. I'm going to throw myself underneath the bus again. I have passed up on a scratch and a player's bleeding because it wasn't going down their arm, it wasn't dripping onto the basketball court, and that was their stud. Okay? So now, if it's just a scratch, we see blood, boop, boop, wrap tape around it, keep the player in the game. So now there's no reason to not address a scrape, a blood issue. So obviously you're still going to have the gushing blood. That's not going to be remedied in 20 seconds. But with fingernails, you have scratches. It's a simple pre-wrap, tape, go. Sweet, 20 seconds, remedy it. Don't ignore blood now just because of that. The rule allows that player to stay in the game while protecting other players from that blood issue. I'm not going to worry about uniform and mascots. Basket interference. I know I've been stated in the past, if player touches the net and it doesn't affect the shot, coach, if that's what happened, I didn't see the player's hand touch the net. Now it's a rule. All right, so basket interference, if the player goes up for a block shot, their hand does touch the net or gets stuck in the net, and it does not affect the shot whatsoever, play on. It's not an automatic basket interference just because the hand touches the net or the finger goes into the net. I would use the rim vibration. I would definitely use the rim going up and down. Yes, that affects the shot. Okay, but it is not an absolute anymore when it comes to hand in the net. All right, penalty for failing to immediately pass the ball to the near official when a whistle sounds from a player technical to a warning for delay for the first violation. All right, this allows us as officials, and we're not talking about the unsporting. We're talking about after a made basket, they touch the ball, all right, and they are delaying the game, right, because they're touching the basketball, right? Or they get the basketball, foul, and they walk away with the basketball, right? You have now that delay of game warning. Use common sense fair play. You don't have to go straight to that technical foul. All right, so it's another tool in the toolbox where we could try to prevent bad behavior before it becomes unsporting. So use the delay of game when that player does not pass the ball to the nearest official. Yeah, if it's not a player warning, it's a team warning as well. It's a team warning that you put in a book.
It's a fifth category.
Correct. Yep, fifth category. When we get into the point of emphasis, we'll sort of go over those as well. All right, changes. The penalty for faking being fouled from a player technical to a warning for the first violation, and a team technical for any subsequent offense, and adds a definition and examples. All right, so did you guys know we could give a technical foul for flopping in the past? Did anybody give a technical foul for flopping in the past? No. We as officials didn't want to do it, which, by the way, neither did I. But now we have seen in the game of high school basketball, like it did in college, more faking, more faking, more faking, more faking. All right? So now it worked in college. It is amazing. The first year in college basketball, boop, flop. It's very hard to officiate. It is. It's hard to officiate. But once you start calling it, guess what the players stop doing? They stop doing it. All right, so I'm willing to bet, just like college basketball, after this season, beginning of the next season, it will be out of the game. The rule will still be there, but it'll be out of the game. All right, so use the warning when we see flop. I know we're going to spend a lot of time in one of our practices just going over what does a flop look like, the head bob. Falling to the ground excessively. All right. There's a lot of different flops out there, and most of the film we will use college film because that's the best film we do have from examples of flopping. Yep. So the signals. This is signal 15 in the mechanics manual now when they get it. But yeah, same signals we see college. Flopping. So hopefully we get that out of the game. Establishes that a player is out of bounds if contact by teammate or bench personnel outside the boundary line provides an advantage, allowing the player to remain in bounds. So if a player is falling out of bounds, they're not out of bounds yet, but if they're falling out of bounds and a coach keeps them in bounds, now they're an out of bounds player. I have not seen film on this yet, but it had to happen in some important situations for them to add it to the rule book. This is the state association, 35-second shot clock, closely guarded. Our closely guarded in Nebraska is be exactly the same. So we're going to have that 5-second closely guarded, holding, dribbling, holding again. Establishes that all administrative team bench technical fouls that occur during pregame offset. All right, so clarifies that an equal number of technical fouls committed by both teams during pregame offset, and establishes how the game will start after offsetting technical fouls. If only one team fouls, technical fouls, you will still shoot free throws. If there's a dunk by one team, you are still going to shoot free throws. The other big part of this, all right, the coach does not lose privilege of the coach's box. So coaches can remain standing. So that's that pregame dunk. Yes, both of those rules. Okay, so another clarification there with pregame. All right, so changes the penalty for dunking or attempting to dunk or stuff a dead ball from a bench technical to a team technical. So we penalize it, free throws to the offended team, and the coach no longer requires the loss of the coach's box, and no personal foul is awarded to begin the game. So a team's not going to start with one team foul. Its coach still is allowed to have the team box, and there is no team foul for dunking before the game. I know I will have to remind myself a lot on those rules as we get closer to the season. And then the points of emphasis. Warning for delays. Now there's 5 categories. All right, 5 categories for warning for delay, which we'll go into as we get closer to the season. Faking being fouled. I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to keep on saying it as we get to the season. Enforce it strong at the beginning of the season. When in doubt, it's a flop. And we're going to keep on saying this on our YouTube channel so coaches get the information, players get the information of if you're going to put us in a judgment call, sports officials, early in the season of was it a flop or was it not a flop, we are going to err on the side of flop. It's the warning. It's amazing. And when they give us warning as officials and we call the warning, guess what the other team does? They stop. All right, they stop. The sideline warning in football, it's awesome. Sideline warning on one team, the other team yells, "This crew's calling sideline, get back." Sweet, awesome.
So if they do the flop, it's obviously just a warning for one team.
One team, yep. But you'll hear it. Hey guys, these officials are calling it, don't do it.
Open hand on the warning.
Yes,
And
oh,
the second one,
boom.
close.
Yep, because the second one's a technical foul. Yep, the first one is an open hand. The second one is a closed
And
hand.
the second one can be any player.
Any player.
Not two on the same player.
Correct.
It's team.
Team warning, just like the delay game. It's a team warning. And then proper procedures for handling blood. At varsity games, they have a stopwatch at the scores table. So if you stop the game for blood, start the 20 seconds, just like we would for a player that has been fouled out. Start the clock. Okay, and that 20-second expires, buzz the horn. If it's not dealt with, they got to bring in a sub. If it is gushing, like if it's all over the jersey, like I wouldn't even worry about the 20 seconds. All right, but that 20-second timer, just like you would for replacing a player that has fouled out, you go to the scores table, you got blood, start the 20 seconds. At the expiration of the 20-second, buzz the horn. Yep. Similar to a timeout, similar to a player being fouled out. Hey, coach, got 5 fouls. All right. Hey, player, you got 5 fouls. All right, now go to the scores table. Boom, 20. Hey, coach, number 24 is bleeding. 24, you're bleeding. Let 24 get to the trainer. All right, now go start the 20 seconds. Communicate, then start the 20.
Dennis asked, is a flop a violation, not a foul?
So a flop is a warning. It's not a violation or a foul. It's just a warning. All right. Now you use the open hand because you're stopping the clock. Stopping the clock. All right.
Sean, can you go back to the pre-dunk rule?
Pre-game dunk rule. Yes, I can.
Because at first, I was understanding that they can't do it, but then you said they can do it.
No, it's still a technical foul, but the rule change, all right, so changes the penalty for dunking or attempting to dunk or stuff a dead ball from a bench technical to a team. So when it was a bench technical, you charged a team foul and the coach lost the box. Now it's a team technical, so now the coach does not lose the box. The team does not get a personal foul added towards bonus. That's the difference. So it is still illegal. They cannot dunk before the game.
Go back to the faking being fouled in the same regard. The first one is violation, flopping. The second one is technical foul, but not to the player, to the team.
It's a team technical. Team technical.
What is
Flopping. So number 33 gets the team warning. Boop, boop. Flopping. All right. And I'm not going to say white 33. I'm just going to say boop, boop, flop, white team warning. So now it's white 23 that fakes later on. Boop, technical foul towards the team.
There's a nice document on the website that goes through the 4 different types of how to officiate it.
Yeah, and we will go through those 4 types. It's just going to take a lot more than 30 minutes to do it. All right. But it's good to start the conversation, get people thinking. I think the areas with the new rules, we are going to get a lot of education in the beginning. Is the flopping and is the pregame technical fouls. So in the month of December, crew chiefs, referees, make sure you're talking about pregame administration of technical fouls, and then make sure you cover flopping. Those are going to be the 2 big ones. Talk about consistency. If we call a flop, we should be able to tell the coach which 4 of those categories it is. All right, consistent message. This is the category the flopping was in.
Could you call it and then the offense, it's on the defense,
Mm-hmm.
they can be fouled, the offense scores.
Yep. Yep.
Then you call it,
Yep.
basket counts,
Yeah. So I mean, so here I am. I'm gonna take a charge. Oh! But there's no contact. All right. No contact. All right. So for that type of flop, there has to be no contact. No contact. Let the play finish. Score. Boop boop. Flop. No contact made on this defender. Team warning. Because officials, if there's contact, what are we going to do? Boop boop. Block. They can only do it 5 times in a game. Again, it's not a personal technical foul. It's a team technical.
Same as reporting, count the basket, violation, flop.
Correct. Yep.
Part of that that's interesting is the second. If the kid goes up for a basket,
Mm-hmm.
somebody flops, basket goes in, second violation, stop, technical, that offense gets 2 shots and the ball.
Yep.
And the basket. So it can be a big thing. Or you
That-
could say there was contact and just count foul.
You can.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do that as well. There's going to be a lot of scenarios when it comes to flopping.
A flop on the defense, no call flop. They turn the ball over, going the other way, and not going to blow the whistle and stop play, and penalize the defense for the offensive kid takes the flop. That can happen on the offensive side too.
Yep. Absolutely. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of. We will have a lot of examples in our meeting. All right, so this does conclude our preseason meeting. All right, so if you have questions, do not leave here with questions. All right, ask me, ask Matt Krause, ask Gwen Porter. If you're still going back and forth, do I join, do I not join? Don't join today. Come to our next practice. See what we have to offer. If it's something you like, awesome. If you're like, nope, I'm going to join, the sooner you join, the sooner you're going to get in communication with us and obviously get into the assigning portal and get on a team with Coach Krause or Coach Porter or myself. All right, you will not be put on a team until you do join. Subscribe, attend practices. If it's not in person, it is live. This will now be able to be viewed tonight. All right, so this will be able to be viewed tonight. We don't have any cuss words in the video, so that was good. And then make your schedule. So block arbiter if you're an arbiter. Block it. Update it. And then officiate what you schedule for. This is the last thing we didn't spend a lot of time on. When you join a team and your coach gives you your schedule, you plan out that schedule, right? The great thing about basketball officiating, you get to pick your schedule. It's not a coach telling you this is our schedule. It's not a league telling you this is your schedule. You get to pick it. So please work it. Because your team is relying on you. Your teammates are relying on you. The players, coaches, and fans are relying on you. Go for it.
As far as blocking an arbiter, are we starting the block on November 1 when the season starts?
I would. Yeah. I would definitely start blocking right now, as far out in advance.
I'm saying for basketball, it starts on November 1 to block out.
Yep.
There's other sports going on that you can't block out.
For all I know, well, we have men's basketball if you sign up for men's league basketball.
No, I'm saying for other sports though, I can't block out softball still and other games, other sports. I think he's asking for softball. You can block basketball, but not softball.
Yeah.
You block specifically basketball.
You cannot block just block. So yeah, block is you can't work. Now let's say you want to work softball over basketball. If we give you a basketball game, decline it. I want this date to stay open for softball. Boom, sweet. We'll go in and open it up. Yep.
Viewing this after we're live. The Google Docs in the description.
All right, if you ever need to come back for registration, it is in the description of this video on YouTube. So if we're not able to open it up today with this QR code, your phone doesn't work, whatever the case may be, if you go to this video tonight, it's in the description. Click on the Google Form link. All right, thank you for taking time out. Remember, when you start officiating, you're only as good as your last call.